topic for today's tutorial is sharing content with those on your network, and if they have ArcGIS Pro. It is relatively easy to share your GIS data if they have ArcGIS Pro and if they are on your network. As long as they have the ability to access your data files, ArcGIS Pro has the ability to open that same type of data. So before discussing about how we can share our work to those who are on our network, we need some discussions about some important issues in this regard. This is about a layer file, map file, and layout file. A layer file in ArcGIS Pro has a file extension name of .lyrx. A layer in .lyrx form, it can exist outside of your map, or it can exist outside of your project as a layer file. A layer file, therefore, as shown here, has some properties. It has properties like, as you can see, data source, coordinate system, symbology, or labels, and etc. The layer file, they store all these property settings associated with the layer, such as I have mentioned, source, symbology, definition queries, visibility, and more. If you have these settings, this lets others access the layers that you have constructed, the layers that you have made. You can share these layers over a network or by email. Now, one advantage of having this layer file is that it will let you standardize these property settings so that the layer will appear the same across multiple maps or across multiple projects. When you add a layer file to a map, so it draws exactly as it was saved in other maps or projects. But however, the associated data that was referenced by your layer needs to be accessible to anyone you shared. Now, a map file. Map files are actually similar to a layer file, except that it is not just for one layer only. The settings include for all the layers shown in the contents pane here. They save the settings for the whole map. It has an extension name of .mapx. So this stores all the property settings associated with the layers in a map, such as source, symbology, as we have said before, definition queries, field visibility, and so on and more. Map files, they let you share maps that you have created in ArcGIS Pro. Yes, so that you can include them. Conversely, you can use others in yours. Still, the data referenced by the map files need to be accessible to whomever you share. The next question is, how do we actually create a layer file or a map file? And how do we import them in ours? So this topic is mainly about how we can do that in practice in ArcGIS Pro. That is, when sharing content with those who are on our network, and if they don't have ArcGIS Pro. To demonstrate, we have two maps here. This one has layers, and this one is just a blank map. with no layer. Map 1, map, and map 1. So the steps: first, we select the layer that we want to save as a layer file here in the contents pane. So on the Share tab, in the Save As group, click Layer File. In our case, it is ETH regions. Now, when we hover over it, it says save this layer as a new layer file. That is one way. Here is another method. Alternatively, we can right-click the selected layer here, point to sharing here, point to sharing menu, and we can click save as a layer file. That is another method. Both methods give the same result. So when we click on it, you see the properties and the reference to the underlying dataset is saved. On the Save Layer as LYRX file dialog box, browse to a folder location you want, or the default is here the project file location. Let us accept the default location. Provide a name for a new layer or accept the default name. So click Save. Now we have just created a layer file for ETH regions layer, and it appears in the project folder right here. This lets us to easily add a new layer to other maps found. It could be in this project or in others. The advantage is that it will maintain all the existing layer properties. Properties such as symbology, labeling, definition queries, and so on. These properties will be saved. Now, on the other way around, how do we import a saved layer or a shared layer file? In this step, we'll test the layer that we created first to ensure that it works as expected. We have two options here. We can add the layer to the current map or to a new blank map. So in the contents pane, expand the folder, then expand the current folder right here so that we can see its contents. Here it is. Right click the ETH regions layer.lyrx file. Click Add to New option. Then select Map as shown here. Now we see a new layer is created, which was saved as a layer file in this map. The layer is now imported. So a layer file, it lets us, to quickly add layers to a map, which can save us a great deal of time. Layers file, the one advantage of a layer file is that it is used to standardize how specific layers are displayed in various maps. Now, the second is creating a map file. To save a map file, the steps are straightforward. Now, on the Share tab, here in the Save As group, click Map File. Or alternatively, we can right-click the map, but we have to make sure that it is. But we have to make sure that it is not the layer that is clicked in the contents pane, and click Save As Map File. On the Save As Map File dialog box, browse to any folder location you want, or accept the default location, which is the project folder. Provide a name for it. and we will accept the default name here and click save. In our current project folder, we see that a new map file is saved here. Again, on the other way around, we can import a map file using map file to add to our project. So adding a new map to our project from a map file is again straightforward. It's not difficult. Simply click on the Insert tab here in the ArcGIS Pro ribbon, Insert tab, then select Import Map. From there, we simply navigate to the location of our map file, which is here in our current folder, and click Import it. Thank you for watching.